This is obviously a different type of video, as you can see from the title. I just feel like there are certain things that I need to get off of my chest. I need to speak out. I need to speak up. I have to pronounce my voice. If I'm going to do this, if I'm going to have a YouTube channel, if I'm going to do this right, if I'm going to actually be a poet and a writer that I say I am, I need to have a voice. I need to pronounce my voice. I need to make sure that it's enunciated and that every fucking person hears what I have to say. First, I should probably start off by saying I have never been someone who is politically correct. I have no interest in being politically correct, and I have no interest in politics in general. I don't sidestep glass so I don't hurt people's feelings. Do you understand? I don't do that. Now that we have that out the way, there's this one poem that I want to read to you guys. It's a very short poem. It's called America the Dying. And here it is. Seated black woman, please accept America's apology on my behalf. She is simply dying, and your black sun is blooming, so sweet like humming hyssop in your bellowing pyramid. On her behalf, she just wasn't expecting it. For you to bring marigold into her funeral. America the Dying. America is dying. And specifically, maybe I should say Black America is dying. And if you are one of those people who have not quite realized it yet, if you have not realized that this is all about race and you know, stop negating race out of the equation, this has everything to do with race. Everything to do with race. I don't want to cut and edit this video. I just want to plop it up and just leave it as that. I'm trying to register everything that's happened in the past 24 hours, let alone the past, you know, 4 years maybe. Since I've moved to Maryland, my eyes have been opening up. And what really opened up my eyes was 2014 Tamir Rice. That's I know there were things that happened. I know first of all, there's so many things that happened before that. Okay, let's not even get started. There's so many things, but it's like it wasn't until that specific incidents, accidents, you know, whatever title, bullshit title that people want to put on it all of a sudden, it wasn't until that unfortunate day that Tamir Rice had to die that I truly felt like I really just need to do something. And I feel like I've been just settling in this weird, awkward space, this weird, awkward area. You know, people for a long time, they have been feeling, black people for a while have not necessarily denying the fact that terrible things were happening to our people. But, you know, it was almost as if, you know, it couldn't really... there was distance. You know, this is something that couldn't possibly happen to me, or it was so unlikely for something like this to happen to me. To this right now how I feel is a mixture of anger. I feel frustrated, very hurt, and I don't feel broken. I feel quite opposite of broken. I feel quite opposite of that. I feel moved, but I feel unsettled because of what is moving me. Something has to be done. The reason that us black people, okay, because it doesn't matter if I'm first generation American. It doesn't matter if my parents are of another country. Okay, black. Period. Black. Why do we make everyone so uncomfortable? Why? Do we really get under people's skin that much that we have to be systematically killed by police officers? That we literally in the justice system have no backup, no support except each other and those, you know, who want to advocate on our behalf. But that's it. That's all. There's no end. There's no change happening in the near future. If we really want to change, we kind of missed out on that. I don't care who you elect for president at this point. It truly does not matter. You know, I'll read this other poem. It's unfinished. No, this is not me reading off poetry and trying to be... This is not like shameless plugs or anything like that. This is just pre-written words of how I already feel. So the first poem I read that was already, you know, I wrote that a long time ago. But I will read this. Scattered, unfinished. Who cares? It's how I feel. I went to bed thinking of the day's disobediences. If I had shamed my family and severed any ties, corrupted my image or lost self-respect. It was one of those nights where I backtracked every word I spoke and sped search through them for politically incorrect. Was it something I said? I wore my skin today. Dusted it of ashes and wore it like clothing. Can you imagine? I wore it like clothing. Like I made the conscientious decision to be black today. And that's where I left off. I got so hung up in my words that I could not finish. As if I made the conscientious decision to be black today. I really hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. And if you don't, let me make it extremely clear cut. Black men, black women, black men, women, children, everyone. Black people being killed in this way is absolutely unacceptable. And for it to continue happening, different states, different areas, and for people to expect us to not constantly do something about it, it's absolutely disgusting. It's unacceptable. It's and for the people who constantly say it's not about race, then what the fuck is it about? If it's not about race, then what is it about? Tell me. Do tell me. And I might not be the most eloquent, you know, have the most eloquent words to provide you right now, but I just feel like I need to put my opinion in a video, and I just need to put it up. I just need to actually just say how I feel. I don't care how it comes off. I don't care if it's not well scripted enough for you, or, you know, I'm not speaking I'm not well spoken enough. I just need to say how I feel. I don't trust the brothers in blue. Let me say this again. I do not trust the brothers in blue. I do not trust police. I do not trust the people who are set in a certain place to protect and serve me. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. And quite frankly, they don't trust us either. That's obviously very clear. When I drive my car and I'm by myself in my car, I always have to have someone on the phone with me. When I walk somewhere, I have to have someone on the phone with me. When my family goes somewhere, when my boyfriend goes somewhere, I feel like I need to be on the phone with them. I feel like it's not safe to be black in America. And if you think I'm being too extreme, so be it. And I just want to make something clear. I'm not living my life out of fear. But to disregard the blatant killing, systematic killing of black people that have been continuing to happen and will most likely continue to happen, to blatantly disregard that and to not at least reflect and take in some kind of caution would just be foolish. I would be a fool. But the crazy thing is, clearly, no matter what you do, how you do it, you know, you can announce that you have a firearm that you are licensed to carry on you, try to do every fucking thing right, and you still get shot. you still end up dead. If that does not light some fucking fire up your fucking ass, I don't know what will. I wrote something. I haven't even put anything up on my Instagram for so long. Nothing of substance. Nothing at all, pretty much. And I wrote something. I only go on Twitter when someone's been killed or when I find out some extreme news. And these were my tweets. Hearing about Tamir Rice's in capital letters. Hearing about Tamir Rice's $500 ambulance bill after he was viciously shot and killed on site disturbs my soul. Some people are just so wicked. I hope to have many sons. That may make you very uncomfortable. That you become afraid that they might overthrow white domination. Tommy Lauren. Let them be so beautifully black it hurts to acknowledge their achievements. I hope they relate every last thing back to black culture that they may be so hard to swallow and impossible to ignore. Although I can't speak as well spoken as I did in my writing and past writing, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like this is more than unfortunate. It's so blatant. And I don't need to watch every camera angle to identify how cruel and disgusting this behavior is. And you know what really upsets me? I'm a high school teacher. I teach TV production. And you know what constantly is on media? The fact that black people are being killed in unjustifiable ways, in cruel ways. They are being murdered. And it's all documented. It's all there. And every time something like this occurs, of course now school is out, but every time a story like this happens, I shouldn't even say story, every time a black person is murdered by the police, I have to make the decision that morning or the night before, whichever, of whether or not to have my current events day so that I could talk about it with my students in school. And not to feed them my opinion, not to, put things in their head or anything like that. Just simply to make them aware of what happened, as I'm sure they already, have seen on Twitter and all that stuff. But to make sure that they are aware of all details of the story. And to have them write a reflection to hand in to me at the end of the period. So I could see how they feel. One time before winter break, I had my students do some kind of activity, and on little rectangular pieces of paper, I had them, or it was before Thanksgiving break, I had them write something that they were thankful for. 2 students wrote something that hurt so bad. It hurt so bad to read it. And I didn't read any of them in class. I just waited. I told them it wasn't a grade or anything like that. I was just curious to see what they're thankful for, most thankful for. That was my wording, most thankful. One student said that I am black. They're most thankful that they are black. Another student said that they're most thankful that they are black and alive. They're 15. I hope you understand why this is an issue. They're 15 years old. The student didn't write that I'm most thankful to be alive. They said they're most thankful that they are black and alive. And when all this stuff happens in media, and I have all these questions, them just trying to figure out, how I feel about things, I say nothing. I say nothing out of me protecting and serving my students. I protect them to the point where they are not tainted or affected by my harsh, outspoken opinions. Or maybe I should say by this blatant, just the harsh, outspoken realities of the situations that happen. It's not even like I need to have it's not like I have to have a bad opinion of something for it to be terrible. If it's standing by itself, it is a terrible thing, then well, it's a terrible thing. And I just, all I can do is give them the information that they could have found on a news site if they wanted to, if they looked it up, or if they have already seen it. And most times they had already seen it and they were already aware. Sometimes not, but most times when it was a black person being killed anyway, unjustifiably killed by the police, I just don't know. I really just don't know. And I feel so weird talking to this camera. It's insane. Like, I feel like I'm talking. And these videos, they don't desensitize me at all. I'm so anxious. I still recognize the fact that someone literally lost their life through me watching the video of them losing their life. I don't look at it as if it was a movie scene or a TV show scene or anything like that. I recognize that these are human beings. These are human beings with families. And even if they don't have families, they're fucking human. They're human. And it's just really hard balancing the balance overall between being, speaking your opinion and just doing what you feel is right. And in my heart, I feel like me adding to the amount of videos on YouTube that are addressing all of these issues, I have to be a part of this. And I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I'm not. I'm really not, because I'm upset. One of my sisters is pregnant, and I literally can't imagine. I cannot imagine bringing a life into this world right now. Bringing a life into America right now. They're going to be black. They're going to be beautiful. They're going to have opinions They're going to be successful. They're going to be the perfect target. Just because of the fact that the first thing I mentioned, that they're black. Because they're black, they're dangerous. Right? Because they're black and the unknown, they're dangerous. They can't just be black and just leave it at that. No, they have to be black, anonymous, and dangerous. This video is already so long, and I'm not cutting and editing anything. A few weeks ago, I reached out to Black Lives Matter. I sent them an email about starting a chapter in Maryland because there's only one in DC. And we'll just go from there. So it's just weird looking at the image of this video and seeing how brightly lit everything is and not feeling that way.